The hour of convening having arrived, all members will please take their seats. All members will please come to the floor of the House and take their seats. Ask the clerk to ring the bell. All members will please come to the floor. We're about to have the first call of the roll of 2014. All members please report to the floor of the House. We're going to have the call of the roll. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk of the House will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted?
We're having trouble. He's good now.
Do we need some technicians back there to help you understand how to vote your machine? Okay. You forget quickly. Have all members now voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. We are about to have our morning devotion, and as the practice and custom of this house, we will close and lock the doors. I hope the media will stay with us for that. Not to suggest that you need to hear it, but if you'd like to exit at this time before we lock the doors, you may do so. If not, you're going to be with us. Okay. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you all are as excited to be back as I am and ready to go to work. We're going to have our scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag. I would ask you to please stay near your seats and give attention this morning. We don't have a long program. The chair is honored to introduce the chaplain of the day today, a friend of mine for many years, more years than I can remember. He was the pastor of the First Baptist Church in Ellijay for 27 years. A lifelong resident of Gilmer County, and I don't know, he corrected the error of his ways early in life. He graduated from Mercer with a degree in government and then went into the ministry. So I think he made a good move. He also made a good move when he married Betty Jo, and we're honored to have Reverend Holt's wife, Betty Jo Holt, with us this morning. Betty Jo, let us honor you. And we have with us his son Chris and his granddaughter Jordan, and we're very pleased to have them with us today. I have had the great pleasure of knowing the Reverend James Holt for many, many years, as I said. He is a friend whose counsel I value greatly and whose life I have come to appreciate very, very much. Reverend Holt is not only an inspired man of God, but he has truly touched the Gilmer County community in so many ways over the years. He was a leader in the formation and modernization of the Gilmer County Fire Department, and he has in recent years worked very actively with alternative courts in our area, and he and I share a passion for the good work that those courts are doing. James Holt has truly been a person who, when he sees a need, he simply goes to work. In 2012, the Gilmer County Chamber of Commerce named him the Citizen of the Year. And as I said, I am grateful to call he and Betty Jo and their family my friends, and I am honored that he would serve as our chaplain of the day on this, the first day of the 2014 session, Reverend James Holt of Ellijay.
Mr. Speaker, members of the House, honored guests, it is a rare privilege that a mountain preacher gets to come to the big city and speak to a body like this one. I really did not know what to say until I talked to an old-time country preacher in Gilmer County. He told me of a sixth grader who took a trip to Washington with his school patrol. And upon arriving back, his teacher asked him, said, would you give us a report of what you did in Washington? And he told about going to the Washington Monument and to the Capitol building and to the Lincoln Memorial. And he said, I finally went to the gallery of the House of Representatives. Now, this young fellow was a preacher's son, and he was impressed by the fact that they had a chaplain at the House of Representatives. And they asked him, what did the chaplain do? The little boy thought for a moment, and he said, well, he just stood up, and he looked around at the members of the House, and he said, Lord, please help us, and he just prayed for the country. I don't know whether that's true of this body or not. Now, I've been a pastor long enough to know that it is never easy to fill places of leadership and responsibility. I heard the other day of a man who was a brick mason. He was working on the second story of a particular building, and he was laying brick around a parapet wall. And when he got through with the wall, he recognized that he had more bricks than he needed, and he needed to get them to the ground, so he contrived a contraption to lower his brick. He put a yard arm out over the edge of the building, and in that yard arm, he put a pulley on the end of it, and he placed a rope through the pulley. Then he went down to the ground, and he tied the rope to a barrel and hoisted it to the roof. He then went up, and he filled the barrel with bricks, and back to the ground, he untied the rope, and at that moment, he realized that the barrel was heavier than he was, and he did not have the presence of mind to let go of the rope, so the barrel started down, and he started up, and it hit him on the shoulder halfway down and gave him a severe laceration. He kept hold of the rope until his fingers were lodged in the pulley, and the barrel hit the ground, and the bottom of the barrel came out, making the barrel lighter than he was. And so he started down, the barrel started up, it hit him on the shin, gave him another severe laceration, until, of all things, he landed on those sharp-cornered bricks. At that time, he had the presence of mind to let go of the rope. The barrel came down and hit him on the head. Now, I don't know whether you can identify with that man or not. I can. Because sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down, and we're getting hit on every side. Preachers do that, and politicians do that. And we're almost afraid sometimes to read the newspapers. Someone said the other day there are three kinds of people: those who are afraid, those who don't know enough to be afraid, and those that know the Word of God. Now, folks, if there's anything that our state and our nation needs, it's hope. Those who know the will of God and the Word of God know the hope that that Word can give us. It's a hope that's real. And even when we are being hit on every side from everybody we thought we were helping, sometimes all we need is hope to keep going. In my field, in your field, I believe that we have the opportunity to give our citizens hope. And I would hope that my line of work and your line of work could run on parallel tracks. Today I am not an optimist, for I see things as they really are. I am not a pessimist because I'm a Christian. I am a hopist. Now, I don't know whether that's a real word or not, but it's real to me. I am a hopist, for I dream of a better nation brought on by a return to our honest and true faith in God. Our hope is not solely in the halls of government, not even in the halls of the marketplace or in our technology. Our hope is in the God that created us to help us to rebuild some foundations of this nation that have been crumbling for years. I am indebted to a pastor named E.V. Hill out of the Mount Zion Baptist Church in Los Angeles, California, for some insight in Psalms 11:3, which says, "If the foundations be destroyed, what shall the righteous do?" I'm a graduate of Mercy University with a degree in history and government. I studied the great founding doctrines of our nation. I learned to love them and respect the men that penned those documents over 200 years ago. And I believe that this nation has become a great nation because of these founding documents. When I grew up, it was far-fetched to think that somebody would destroy the foundation. There were foundations that were sure. We had some do's and we had some don'ts. There were some things we did and there were some things we didn't do. But today our foundations, once believed were very strong, are gradually being eroded. Now, since I am a hopist, it is my belief that there are great people all over the state who do not want those foundations to crumble. And it may be that here in the halls of government, we can help those people strengthen their own personal foundations and strengthen the foundations of our nation. And it is my hope as a hopist that together all of us, red, white, black, and yellow, will strengthen those foundations in the basements so that we can live successfully and peacefully in the penthouse of God's plan. Somebody said I was crazy to have this living dream, but I don't believe so. It should make no difference, my friends, whether we are Democrats or Republicans or Tea Party or Independents. We all need to hang together or we'll hang separately. Because we discovered years ago in the mountains of North Georgia, we had some serious addiction problems to alcohol. We started alcohol treatment centers. And we all started with three things that I want to leave with you. There's a book that has some fancy words in it about the first 3 steps in Alcoholics Anonymous. And I simplified them, said this: we got a problem I can't handle. God can. I think I'll give it to him. Now, there's some wisdom that you can take with you. God, I've got a problem I can't handle. God can. Let's give it to him. Maybe that's where we ought to start this session. We got some problems that we can't handle. God can. Let's give it to him. And then the foundations will be strong. May I take a moment of personal privilege and thank this body for their support of accountability courts, such as drug courts for the nonviolent offenders. Not only do they save thousands of tax dollars, but they are saving lives and families and professions. Just go to one of their graduations and you'll leave with tears of joy. My son Chris is with us today. He is now the coordinator of the new Veterans Court in the Appalachian Judicial Circuit under the direction of Chief Superior Judge Brenda Weaver and the support of our District Attorney Allison Soulsby. Chris knows personally the victory of so many who have come through this system. And may God bless you and lead you through this 2014 session. I thank you. And I encourage you to make Georgia a better place when your work is finished. Let's pray together. Father in heaven, thank you for this deliberating body. We ask your guidance, your wisdom, and your understanding so we can be what you want us to be. In Jesus' name, amen. Would you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. The chair recognizes, we're about to come back to order. I wanted everyone to have a chance to speak to Reverend Holt because we have some items that I'd like for y'all to be near your chairs for. At this time, the chair recognizes the gentleman from the 138th House District, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, Chairman Chokas.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits had reviewed the lengthy journals of the previous legislative session and have found them to be correct.
Chairman Chokas, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. All right, while we're waiting for the line to thin down, the chairman of the Ethics Committee here in the House, Chairman Wilkinson, has just asked me to call your attention All right, let's begin to get a little bit of order. Chairman Wilkinson has asked me to call your attention to the fact that on your desk you have copies of both the 2014 Rules, Ethics, and Decorum of the House of Representatives and the 2014 version of the House of Representatives Conduct of Members Manual, which has rules, constitutional provisions, statutes, and advisory opinions of the Committee on Ethics. So be sure that you hang on to both of those. Okay, Chair's going to ask all members to start drifting back to their seats. We have some recognitions that are at this time in order. We want to recognize new members to this body. From the 100th House District and playing at linebacker, Representative Dewey McLean. Representative McLean, is he in here? From the 104th House District, please welcome Representative Chuck F. Strachan. And from the 127th House District, please make welcome to this body Representative Brian Prince. Last and certainly not least, as all of you know, it is a new era in the House of Representatives. Today is the first day of the new, I'm not sure, we're trying to decide if it's clerkship or clerkhood, but please let's greet the new Clerk of the House of Representatives, William L. Riley. The clerk will now read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day. Clerk will read.
Mr. O'Neill of the 146 moves that the following be established as part of the order of business during the first part of the period of unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions, first readings and reference of House bills and resolutions, second reading of bills and House resolutions, morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. First reading of House bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 694 by Representative Waits of the 60th relating to the Georgia Rail Passenger Authority Law.
Transportation.
House Bill 695 by Representative Carson of the 46th relating to public assistance so as to provide for reimbursement of Medicaid providers.
Health and Human Services.
House Resolution 1036 by Representative Henson, a resolution creating the House Study Committee on Townships.
Governmental Affairs.
House Resolution 1037 by Representative Howard of the 124th, a resolution requesting the Central Savannah River Area Regional Commission study the coordination of transportation delivery methods.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1038 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, a resolution recognizing and encouraging the efforts of the Georgia Department of Education, the Technical College System of Georgia, the University System of Georgia, the Governor's Office of Workers Development, and the Department of Community Affairs.
Economic Development and Tourism.
That completes first readers.
Well, here we go. Got a parliamentary inquiry, I think. What purpose does the Majority Leader of the House rise?
Parliamentary Empire.
State your inquiry.
Are you familiar with a rule, or is it permissible under our rules to qualify a first reading with a Connecticut accent?
I think that's a serious question that I'm going to have legal counsel look at. What purpose does Chairman Roberts rise?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that some of us from the part of the state are kind of concerned about being able to understand the clerk and would ask that we have an interpreter?
I'm not sure where we would find one for you, but we will take that under advisement too. Second reading of House bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
HB 676 by Representative Kidd of the 145th, a bill relating to delegation of authority to physicians' assistants. HB 677 by Representative Mitchell of the 88th, a bill to incorporate new municipality into DeKalb County. HB 678 by Representative Earhart of the 36th, a bill relating to revenue and taxation. HB 679 by Representative Chokas of the 138th, a bill relating to exemptions from ad valorem taxation. HB 680 by Representative Abrams of the 89th, a bill relating to charter school funding. HB 681 by Representative Smith of the 41st, a bill relating to minimum wage. HB 682 by Representative Smith of the 41st, a bill relating to Code Revision Commission. HB 683 by Representative Carson of the 46th, a bill relating to imposition rate computation exemptions from state income tax. HB 684 by Representative Spencer of the 180th, a bill relating to divorce. HB 685 by Representative Lindsay of the 54th, a bill relating to domestic relations. HB 686 by Representative Martin of the 49th, a bill relating to title ad valorem fee on vehicles in Georgia. HB 687 by Representative Stevenson of the 90th, the bill to incorporate a new municipality into DeKalb County. HB 688 by Representative Kirby of the 114th, the bill relating to revenue and taxation. HB 689 by Representative Rogers of the 29th, the bill relating to motor vehicles and traffic.
Hello.
HB 690 by Representative Rogers of the 29th, a bill relating to local government. HB 691 by Representative Burns of the 159th, bill relating to sales and use tax. HB 692 by Representative Stevenson of the 90th, a bill relating to incorporation of municipalities. HB 693 by Representative Knight of the 130th, bill relating to aviation, revenue, and taxation. HR 871 by Representative Oliver of the 82nd, resolution requesting that adult citizens of Georgia strongly consider preparing an advance directive for health care that appoints their health care agent and states their treatment preferences. HR 872 by Representative Waits of the 60th, resolution encouraging the creation of a high-speed rail transit authority to operate in Fulton, Carroll, and Douglas counties. HR 912 by Representative Marin of the 96th, resolution respectfully requesting that the United States Congress swiftly enact and fund comprehensive immigration reform and create a common-sense roadmap to citizenship for some 11 million undocumented immigrants, promote economic growth, and strengthens national security. HR 913 by Representative Smith of the 41st, resolution requesting support from the Governor of Georgia and the General Assembly to give pay raises to veteran teachers of Georgia's public school system. HR 914 by Representative Smith of the 41st, resolution requesting support for reproductive freedom of choice and family planning, recognizing the need for state and federal funds to facilitate safer environment for mothers and children. HR 915 by Representative Smith of the 41st, resolution offering support on behalf of workers' rights. HR 1027 by Representative Weldon of the 3rd, resolution creating the City of Fort Oglethorpe Charter Study Committee. HR 1034 by Representative Burns of the 159th, resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to provide for the comprehensive revision of the joint county and municipal local option sales and use tax and specify the distribution and use of the proceeds thereof for property tax relief. HR 1035 by Representative Chokas of the 138th, resolution creating the House Study Committee on Student Protection and the Prevention of Assaults on Public Schools. Through second readers.
House will be in order. House will be in order. We're honored to have with us today as the doctor of the day, really a friend of many of us who needs no introduction, but you know, people always say that and then they do an introduction, so I'm pleased to get to do that because today marks 25 years that Dr. Bobby Kaufman has been here on opening day as the doctor of the day. I think that's quite a record. I didn't realize he was even 25 years old, but he's been practicing medicine here in Atlanta since 1989 at the Kaufman Clinic. Got his undergraduate degree at the University of Georgia, his medical degree from Morehouse School of Medicine, and did his residency at Emory University. He is truly a leader in the medical community in our state, and as I said, the chair is proud to call him friend, and I know many of you likewise call him friend. Please make welcome our doctor of the day, Dr. Bobby Kaufman.
Thank you very much. I agree with the speaker. I'm certainly not old enough to have been down here 25 years, but I have, following in my father's footsteps. Also came down as a kid as a page, so there's a lot more years than we even want to talk about. But we all know we're not as good as, except for the people that are around us, so we have a new nurse, and I want to introduce her because she's really the most important person in the medical aid station. So Ruby Butts, wave at everybody. Make sure you know her. But it's an honor to be here, and thank you for my day off.
Thank you, Bobby.
Take care.
The 41st. Mr. President, it is my honor to second the nomination of David Cook for Secretary of the Senate.
Thank you, Senator. It's been moved and second. I now recognize the senator from the 4th.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that nominations be closed and the clerk be instructed to cast the vote of the entire body for David Cook.
Thank you, Senator.
All right, let's take up some business here. House will be in order. House will be in order. The clerk will read a resolution.
House Resolution 1040 by Representative O'Neill of the 146, notifying the Senate the House of Representatives has convened.
Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House to explain the resolution.
You heard it word for word. Just ask for your favorable support. We're to notify the Senate that we're over here working as usual. If there are no questions, I yield the will and ask for your support.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. The chair also knows that, as is customary on opening day, we have a committee of notification to go inform the governor of Georgia that we have convened, and the chair appoints to the committee of notification the lady from the District 19, Representative Braddock, the gentleman from the 14th District, Representative Coomer, the gentleman from the 78th District, Representative Douglas, the gentleman from the 178th District, Representative Nimmer, the gentleman from the District 171, Representative Allen Powell, the lady from the 50th District, Representative Riley, and the gentleman from District 176, Representative Shaw. Clerk will read another resolution.
House Resolution 1041 by Representative O'Neill of the 146 concerning joint session and the Governor's State of the State address.
Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House to explain the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a resolution where we invite the Governor, His Excellency Nathan Deal, for the State of the State day after tomorrow, Wednesday at 11 a.m. I ask for your favorable support of this resolution. Thank you.
Is there any objection to the adoption of House Resolution 1041, providing for a joint session of the General Assembly for purposes of receiving the State of the State address from the Governor of Georgia on January 15 at 11 a.m.? Is there objection? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. The clerk will read a resolution.
House Resolution 1042 by Representative O'Neill of the 146 concerning joint session and the state of the judiciary.
Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House to explain the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Resolution 1042 does indeed invite the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court Wednesday, February the 5th at 11 a.m. to address this body in a joint session with the Senate. I ask for your favorable consideration of House Resolution 1042.
Is there objection to the adoption of House Resolution 1042? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. The clerk will read a resolution.
House Resolution 1043 by Representative O'Neill of 146 relative to adjournment.
Did you say adjournment, Mr. Clerk? I love talking about adjournment on day one.
Adjournment.
Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House to explain the resolution.
Can we show it? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's going up for you here in just a second, but in a nutshell, this resolution will get us out for the first 2 weeks of session beginning today. We will be in each day this week. We will convene probably at 10 o'clock every day, with the exception of maybe Friday. We might try to do 9, but there'll be a later announcement as far as that's concerned. Next week, next Monday, we'll observe the Martin Luther King holiday and then return Tuesday thereafter on January the 21st at 10 a.m. and we'll be in the following 4 days through Friday of that week. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I ask for your favorable consideration of our first adjournment resolution.
Mr. Leader, will you have, maybe by the end of this week or early next week, another adjournment resolution, you think?
That certainly is my goal, Mr. Speaker, and it's our goal to try to get people the ability to plan to be here all the way to somewhere in the beginning of March with the next resolution. We feel like that you leave your families, your jobs, and everything back home, and the least we can do is make sure you have some predictability of when you need to be here serving your constituency. So that would be our goal, and hopefully I'll have something for you by the end of the week for your consideration, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Is there any objection to the adoption of the adjournment resolution? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. If you have an announcement and have not signed up, then now is the time. Clerk will read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions. The clerk will read. While the clerk's getting ready, if you have signed up for a morning order, then make your way down to the front. We're going to go into those right after the consideration of the privileged resolutions.
A resolution honoring a life and memory of Mrs. Victoria Travis Jackson and for other purposes. A resolution honoring and remembering the memory of Miss Marcia Lynn Clark Dell and for other purposes. A resolution honoring a life and memory of James Frederick Lester and for other purposes. A resolution dedicating the McDougald Memorial Parkway and for other purposes. A resolution recognizing William E. Silver, M.D., President of the Medical Association of Georgia, as Doctor of the Day for January 14, 2013, and commending him for his outstanding achievements within the medical profession and for other purposes. That completes the reading of privileged resolutions.
Is there objection to the adoption of the privileged resolutions? Chair hears none, and the resolutions are adopted. This House will be in order. We're still taking up business. The chair wanted to make mention of a couple of matters. It's been a little bit of a challenging year. Tomorrow, we will honor the lives and service of two members that have been taken from us during the last year. Chairman Calvin Hill and Representative Quincy Murphy. So I would ask all of you to be prompt, and we will have both the Hill family and the Murphy family with us tomorrow. Others of our members have had challenges, but I am happy to report that Representative Susan Holmes' daughter, Cammie, who, as you know, was diagnosed back a couple of months ago with leukemia, has been hospitalized for a long period of time, did get to go home for Christmas. And today, today, she is scheduled for a bone marrow transplant, with her brother being the donor. So, please keep Cammie and her husband and their children, Representative Holmes and the entire family in your prayers, and please be prayerful about the transplant procedure later today. All right, we're going on now to morning orders. Chair recognizes Representative Dawkins Hagler for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, everyone. Today is a great day. Do you know why? Because I am celebrating the anniversary of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Yay! And so if any of you, clap for my sorority. Yes. So if any of you go on to Facebook today or Twitter or anything, you're going to see nothing but Delta Sigma Theta. Delta Sigma Theta was founded in 1913 on January the 13th on the campus of Howard University. Our national president is Paulette Walker from Tampa, Florida. Our regional director for the Southern region is Cheryl Turner. And there are three great women in this body who are members of Delta Sigma Theta. That would be myself, Representative Sheila Jones, and Representative Pam Stevenson. So today, if you see anybody that's a member of Delta Sigma Theta, just tell them that you love them. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, Chairman England, for a morning order. Hold on just a minute, Mr. Chairman. Okay, it's only day one. Let me just say one time that if you have matters that are more important than listening to the morning orders, we've got plenty of room out in the ante room. There's plenty of room out in the hall to take those discussions. Otherwise, let's be respectful of the members in the well. Chairman England.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Just a note on your desk this morning from me about today being Chemistry Day here at the Capitol. This evening there will be a reception down at the depot from 4 until 6. A lot of the different chemical companies across our state that make a lot of the things we enjoy on an everyday basis will be there. So I'd encourage you to go down there and enjoy what they do and learn more about their businesses across our state. And you'll notice on the handout, the flyer on your desk talks a little bit about M&Ms. Those M&Ms are in the ante room, so be sure to go by and enjoy them. The M&M marking material for that's made here in Georgia. The fertilizer growing the peanuts is made here in Georgia, and the plastic bag, or the material for the plastic bags that those peanuts are in and stay fresh, are also made here in the state of Georgia. Thank you.
All right, Chair recognizes for a morning order Chairman Dixon and Representative Broderick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Greater Dalton-Whitfield Chamber of Commerce traditionally welcomes you with a reception that will take place this afternoon beginning at 4 o'clock in the Blue Room. If you want to have a rug, which he is proudly displaying for you now, please be down there and pick up your rug, meet some of the folks from Dalton and Whitfield. Just like the peanuts, the rugs are made in Georgia too. And Mr. Speaker, the first rug goes to you.
Thank you very much. Is this worth more or less than $75? $74.99. Just checking. Chair recognizes the Dean of this House, Chairman Smyrie, for a morning order.
Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House, I just wanted to come this morning in the process of doing a resolution, but Frank Thomas, who is a resident of Columbus, Georgia, and lives in my district, and he was just announced that he's going to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And I've known Frank Thomas practically all of his life, and he went to school there in Columbus, Columbus High, and then went to Auburn University. And it was stated that once he was at Auburn for a football game, and the baseball coach and Pat Dye were talking and asked him what kind of baseball player was Frank Thomas, and Coach Dye heard the announcement that Frank Thomas was a good baseball player, but that he was playing football for Auburn, and at that time Frank Dye consented to allow him to play baseball but stay on a football scholarship. And now 25 years later, immortality has kicked in, and Frank Thomas is going to be inducted July 27th in Cooperstown to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So his father passed away a few years ago, and Frank Sr., and a person that we all admired in our community, but his mother still lives, in fact, they live right around the street from me. Johnny May is still a resident of Columbus, and so we're going to have a resolution commending and congratulating Frank Thomas as he is inducted into the Hall of Fame along with Bobby Cox, Greg Maddox and Tom Glavlin. So thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The Big Hurt.
That's him.
The Big Hurt. Chair recognizes for a morning order Chairman Houston. Chairman Houston.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not sure if this flyer has been turned over to everybody in the House yet. We were sort of late getting them out. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit this morning about a pathway of literacy. If you took a car and went on a road trip, the children of Georgia, and they started in Atlanta and went to Augusta on I-20, when they reached that, the path of literacy, 66% of Georgia's children would not reach their destination for literacy. And to combat this, the governor has an initiative which is called Georgia Pathways to Language and Literacy, which is working to have all Georgia children reading on grade level by 2020. And in conjunction with this, Dr. Brenda Fitzgerald has an excellent program for the first 100 children in Georgia that are born this year that are deaf or hard of hearing, so they can reach this destination too. And we'd like to invite you on tomorrow morning from 8 to 10 to please stop by room 230 to find out more about Pathways to Literacy and the 100 baby project for the public health has, and come by for a donut in room 230 tomorrow. Thank you.
Chair recognizes for a morning order Representative Mabel Thomas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and distinguished members of this body. Happy New Year. I come before you with Representative Sheila Jones. We have some constituents from our area that have come down, but I want you to go ahead and speak to Representative Mother Pollitt, because I want to do a special thing for Ms. Smith, okay?
I just want to recognize the Griffin family and the Pollitts and Sister Kelly that's here today. And if you can, rise Miss Carrie Williams with the Griffin family, and Mother Pollitt, Deacon Pollitt, and Sister Kelly.
And I have a special guest that's celebrating their 94th birthday from my district, and she came to celebrate her 94th birthday with us. And so, Miss Nasra, if you would have your mom stand up. Miss Mary Smith, 94 years young. All right, so thank you so much, and thank you everybody who came to visit with us today. And we will have a reception downstairs for Ms. Smith from 11 to 12:30. Thank you very much.
That completes morning orders. We've got a little catch-up work on birthdays to do, going back to the first of the month. I want to catch us up. Let's all wish belated birthday greetings on January 6th to Representative David Wilkerson. Representative Wilkerson. On January the 10th to Representative Karen Bennett. Representative Bennett. And just yesterday, birthday greetings are in order for Chairman Jan Tankersley. Chairman Tankersley. We have an announcement. Chair recognizes the Chairman of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee, Chairman Stevens for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, if you represent any of the 1st Congressional District, the Coastal Caucus will meet today in room 230 at 11:30. Thank you.
Chair recognizes on the floor of the House a former member. Can't get rid of them sometimes. Former Representative Jay Shaw. Welcome, Representative Shaw. Chair recognizes Representative Flood for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, the Georgia House Democratic Caucus will meet in room 216 of the Capitol. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, room 216.
Chair recognizes Chairman Hatchett for an announcement. Chairman Hatchett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tomorrow morning also at 8 o'clock in room 341, the House Republican Caucus will be meeting.
Okay. Representative Kidd, when is your caucus meeting? Tomorrow morning at 8, right? Chair recognizes Chairman Setzler for an announcement. Chairman Setzler.
The Non-Civil Judiciary Subcommittee 2 will actually have its first meeting tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m., getting started on the Title 40 Rewrite Bill, HB 671. Non-Civil Subcommittee 2 tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m.
That completes our announcements. Please remember that tomorrow we have 2 very special tributes that we're going to observe here in the House. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move this House now adjourn until 10 a.m. Tuesday morning, January the 14th, 2014.
The Majority Leader has moved that this House adjourn until Tuesday, January 14 at 10 o'clock a.m. All those in favor of the motion will please say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes clearly have it, and this House will be adjourned until Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Yesterday, January the 13th, was Korean